I was out on my walk one afternoon and I was going down to my local pharmacy to read some magazines and maybe buy my favorite snack. But yet on my way there, I noticed that garage sale. I really don't normally care about things like that, yet I figured I could spare a minute or two and look around. Who knows? I might find something cool. As fate would have it, I did. I noticed an old The Grinch DVD. The case was rather old and worn, some of the character face seemed to have been ripped off. Probably from some little kid or something like that. I used to love those things as a kid. I especially loved the Grinch and his best friend Cindy Lou Who. Plus, it said it had a special lost scene. Lost scene? I thought. Never heard anything about one of those. Yet, when I asked to buy it, the owner said, "You don't want that DVD, dude." "Why not?" I asked. "That lost scene is," he stopped talking, as if in a trance, haunted by some horrible nightmare. I didn't really care. I mean, if it's so bad to be it. I still got plenty of other episodes to watch on it. In the end I bought from the guy anyway. He shook his head and frowned, as I left. "Geez," I said to myself. "How bad can it really be?" Later that night, I decided to watch the DVD. So, it was just me, myself, and I watching some good old How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I put the DVD disc in the player, and soon enough the main screen came up with all the options. Looked cute enough. I simply pressed play and it started. The lost scene started with a text saying, "The death of the Grinch" in a black background. It then cut to the Grinch sheds his tears and started to cry realistically. It wasn't a cartoon cry, but there was a realistic cry who sounds like Jim Carrey loses it in his mind. The Grinch's tears who looks like a realistic blood and his eyes were black. His face turned into black. His crying continues that really sounds like a maniacal man's laughing or some people shrieks. I was shocked to see the creepy image of the crying Grinch, and I cover my ears for bleeding to watch this, but nothing happened with him. The screen cuts to black for 25 seconds with a creepy music playing in the background, and it really then cuts to the depressed Grinch walks down his own cave and he hears a noise. It was Max, the Grinch's dog pet. He starts to bark and arguing over the Grinch. The Grinch looks at Max, in anger. His red eyes from crying, his tears flowing down on his face and his teeth that kinda looks like a beast. The Grinch growls at Max and he screams furiously at the top of his lungs. "What the fuck are you thinking you're doing?" The Grinch yelled in anger and in a demonic tone. I was so still shocked to the Grinch saying his bad word. In fact, he didn't say his bad word in the movie. "You ruined to leave my fucking cave and stay away from me," the Grinch shouted. Max then looks guilty, and then runs away. "Yeah, you damn dirty bastard. Just go. Go and leave everything messed up and horrible. And I'll fucking leave you." The Grinch continues to scream at the top of his lungs. His screams are heard in the TV, intensely, and very loud. I still covered my bloody ears for this and I thought it was a kid's movie. The Grinch starts to chase Max, and he was in rabies. Max tries to get away from him, but he didn't succeed. He starts to whimper and sees the angry Grinch. The Grinch looks at Max and was about to eat Maximum. The screen cuts to black. I could hear the Grinch mauls Max with the sounds of blood splatters and eating. It cuts to the depressed Grinch sits down on his chair and he holds a knife. Why did the Grinch look like that? The Grinch said, "I'm gonna kill me," in his demonic voice. The screen cuts to a close-up of his knife and he was about to stab his eye. The knife stabs the Grinch's eye and the Grinch starts to scream. His screams didn't sound like a cartoon, it was a hyper-realistic demonic scream. It cuts to a close-up of the screaming Grinch's mouth with blood splatter coming out of his head. The scene continues to cuts to the knife continuing to stab his another eye. The Grinch's screaming stopped and echoed through the black background. I was curious mixed with shocked for this. It cuts to the dead Grinch, his body was rotting away and his eyes were black. I started to see the Grinch's corpse, and I vomited through my bag. The camera pans to the Grinch's cave and it fades to red. There are bold white words saying the end before cutting to the skeleton of the dead Grinch's body. The scene ended with the Universal Studio logo. I ejected the DVD and threw it in the trash. The next day, Saturday, I think I woke up at 12:03 a.m. I turned on my computer and went on Google to look up information about the death of the Grinch. No results. I went to my Yahoo Mail and contacted Dr. Seuss Enterprises about this. Here's the reply. Where did you find this deleted scene? We're sorry that your dreams have been crushed. One day, there was a guy was hired in 1996, but got fired in 2005 for making these kind of scenes from our movies. We're sorry for making you scared and we'll send you a great stuff. I gave them my address, and 45 minutes later they just sent me the Grinch books, plushies, DVDs, and even coloring books plus crayons. There was one more gift, a special one. It was in a cake package. It was a we're sorry cake. I guess they felt really sorry for me being very scared. Wow, the Dr. Seuss staff is very nice. I ate the cake anyways. I also gave the coloring book and crayons to my brother. I kept the other stuff. If you see a Lost How the Grinch Stole Christmas DVD that has the lost scene on it, destroy it.